Kristin Constable is the founder of Winning Defined by You, training purpose-driven leaders through a values-centered approach to leadership. She's an exceptional speaker, and we're very lucky to have her here today. Please welcome Kristin to the stage.
Back there doing that meditation with all of you, and I'm so excited to be here today. Being in a room filled with purpose-driven leaders, there's no better way that I could spend my day, so I'm so excited to be here. What I want to spend my time talking to all of you about is this resource, this power source that we all have inside of ourselves to tap into exactly what Sasha was talking about. To create, be in choice, and create the impact that we're all out to create in our own unique ways. So today I'm going to spend my time talking to you about a generic word, values, but we're going to spend some time actually digging into what that means and how you can use your value set as a way to powerfully impact your world. So in the spirit of today, I think this is going to be quite an interactive day. I don't imagine that we're going to be sitting too much, so I'm going to get everyone to stand up, please. Excellent. All right, so now that you're standing, I'm going to ask a series of three questions. And if you can answer a powerful yes to the question, stay standing. And if you can't, just take a seat. And remember, we're all here today in the spirit of growth, learning, and development. So let's commit to this being a judgment-free space. So at any point where you're sitting down, all good. So the first question that I want to ask is, if you know what your personal values are, stay standing. If you've got a strong yes to that, stay standing. Beautiful. Next question. You could turn to the person beside you and clearly articulate, clearly share what those values are. If you're a strong yes to that, stay standing. If you're on the fence, probably means no. So if you're... And then the last question, if you could share how one of your values recently guided your decision-making, stay standing. Beautiful. Okay, cool. Everyone can take a seat. There's just a personal check-in for you. Doesn't matter what anyone else in the room was doing, that's for you. To see where are you at in this ongoing, never-ending discovery of values. And if you are still standing at the end, I invite you to take on this conversation with a beginner's mindset. Because from my experience in working with hundreds of leaders and entrepreneurs is that this work never goes away. Values are in a constant, ongoing evolution. And the more clear we can be about our values and move away from them being this gut feel that we kind of intuitively know, to being something that we can see and be expressed in our life and our work is where the real power source comes in. So I'm going to start with a real quick, really important question is, like, what are values and why are they important? So why are we talking about them in the context of today? Well, I draw the simple analogy between values and a compass. So the more clearly defined our values can be, the more calibrated our compass is. When we move away from our values being this internal kind of gut sense for what's most important to us, to being able to quickly share and powerfully share what's most important, we have a really well-calibrated compass. And that creates the conditions for us to be able to really impact our world and show up in our peak performance in all areas of our lives. When we can actually apply our values to be our guiding principles, not only for work, but with our families, and in our communities, and in our one-on-one relationships, that's where the real power comes in. So I want to talk about why this is important in the context of what we're talking about today, and this segues perfectly from what Sasha was talking to us about. Is we know more and more people want to be, not only want to be, but are committed to being engaged in meaningful work. Purpose-driven work, where they can have an impact and the things that matter to them most can be expressed in what they do. That's likely why we're all here today. And as entrepreneurs, we have a really unique and special place where our businesses can act as the vehicle for our values to be expressed in the world and to make a difference. And what I want to leave you with is we don't attract who we want into our businesses and in our lives. Instead, we attract who we are. So when I work with companies and business owners and we talk about creating values for the organization or for the teams or for them as individuals, it's one thing to talk about them and put them on words on a wall or in a culture document, but that has no legs. The only way that values actually have real legs and can have real traction is when we show up and live in them day to day, moment to moment, in all of our ways of being. And Mahatma Gandhi said this best, so I'm going to let his quote speak to this, is your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your values, and your values, they become your destiny. And what I want to add on to that is your values don't only become your destiny, but they also become your organization's destiny. And that's because if there's one thing you kind of let sink in today around this talk, is that our organizations don't have values. It's the people in our organizations that have values. It's us that bring our values into our businesses and into our lives. And the more clear we can be about what is important to us, why it's important to us, and how that shows up, the more strongly we can have impact in this area. So today, I wanted to build on what we have already started in the conversation and actually get us engaged in this work. And I think it would be really cool throughout the day is if we had conversations about this very topic, is what matters to us most. Not what we do, but really why do we do it? And so we're going to play with this a little bit this morning, just in this session, and I'm going to actually take you through a bit of a guided visualization to start to tap into what some of these values might be, that might be there for you as an intuitive gut sense, but they haven't been given words yet, and they haven't been given that weight to get traction. So if you're in, I'll invite you to gently close your eyes, find a comfortable spot. Take a big, deep breath in, and a big breath out. Drop into this space. And in this moment, bring to mind a peak experience in your life. A moment in time where you felt most alive. Once you have this moment in mind, bring it to life using all 5 of your senses. Imagine yourself back there in that moment. What were you seeing? Hearing? Feeling? Bring it to life in as much detail as possible. Now take it one step further and begin to explore why this moment? Why was it this moment that came to mind around being the peak experience, one of the peak experiences in your life? What made this moment so special? When you're ready, you can open your eyes. In a moment, I'm going to get you to turn to the person beside you, so you're working in a pair. And you're going to share with them in 2 minutes or less, not what that experience was, but why that experience was so special for you. As the listener in the partnership, you're going to be listening deeply for key themes and words that are in your partner sharing. Those key themes and words are clues to things that matter to them most, their values. So once they're done their share, you're just going to share back with them the key themes or words that you heard in their share, and then we're going to have an opportunity to switch roles. So it'll be 2 minutes each way. Use your time as well as you can, use it up, but 2 minutes will go quickly, so make sure you kind of stick to the why, not the what. So find a partner somewhere near you, and I'll let you know when 2 minutes is up and we're ready to switch. All right, let's wrap up those conversations. Whew, feel that energy in the room. People start talking about what's important to them and it lights up. Let's get a sense for who's in the room. Let's just, a few people, call out a couple things that came out for you in terms of what's most important to you. Anyone? Connection. Love it. Positivity.
Rock and roll.
Love. Rock and roll. Connection. Adventure. Belonging. Mountains. Solitude. Serendipity. Freedom. Challenge. Sorry? Family. Beautiful. Simple, but big things. What would it look like if those values showed up in every area of your life, all the time, in your work, with your friends, with your family, in just the way of being? It could have a huge impact. That energy, that power source, could be the fuel for the work that you're trying to do in the world. So my invitation for you all today is to not let this conversation around where is your fuel, where is your passion, stop. Notice what conversations, what experiences, what people pique you today. What new peak experiences do you experience? And get curious, get beyond just, oh, that was interesting, and reverse engineer it back to touch on, well, what value did that hit on for me? The more clarity we can bring to that and more depth we can bring to what our values are, the more we give them a voice. And the more they can show up in our work and in our worlds. So I'll leave you with that, and I can't wait to hear all of the things that matter to you most on one of the breaks, so I hope this conversation continues. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.